Hello everybody, welcome to the Welsh Esports League channel, and today we are actually hosting IESF, Women's Counter-Strike. My name's Bigfoot, I'm joined by Mad Dante. How you doing there, brother?
I'm doing very well, man. It's always nice to hear and see you and join you anytime we have a cast. We have a lovely series to get everyone really started in. It's going to be a few friendlies. So first of all, Wales versus Turkey, and then Wales versus Portugal. Just a kind of bit of friendlies, kind of scrimmage to kind of see where the teams are, any kind of maybe gaps in knowledge, anything like that. So hopefully should be a very friendly but a very tight competition.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So this year, IESF, the women's CS2, has increased in teams. It was 10 last year, so there's 16 this year. You know, people like Wales are coming in. Turkey, who were playing first, they're coming in, but they weren't in there last year. The winners of last year were some pretty stellar lineups. It was Netherlands and Argentina in the finals, with the Netherlands taking it 2-1. Yeah, and it's going to be pretty tough for Wales against some of these highly tough teams. But there could be a learning experience, and you know, like there might be some kind of serious underdogs victory. So we're going to be rooting for Wales moving through this, and we are hosting it as EsportsWales. So there will be maybe a little bit of bias, a little bit of chanting for Wales to come through on top, but they will be meeting their challenge also.
Well, I mean, for anyone that hasn't experienced, my will always be the same. I am remarkably biased, and I support whoever's losing. And so I'm sorry, Wales, even though you've got me in, and thank you so much for it. Absolutely, whatever gives the closest games and whatever gives the most entertaining set is what I'm going to root for. And I will say as well, kind of building off what you were just saying there, Bigfoot. One of the best things for whenever you're going in, particularly a circumstance like this, an environment, particularly for the Welsh crew, even if it's unfortunately, you know, not as good a showing from them as they'd maybe like to see, you learn infinitely more from getting pub stomped than you know, kind of coming in and, you know, putting up a much bigger fight. So as long as obviously there's a positivity surrounding it, even if the matches do you know, end up kind of being a little bit too much just at the moment, there's a lot of learning then, as you said, and as long as it's kept positive, then absolutely you can walk away with that to July, where the prize pool and stuff then gets invested and everyone starts really pulling out all the stops.
As we started talking there, I think they were in the ninth round deciding side. And there you can see up in the flags, you've got the Welsh flag and the Turkish flag is looking good. Turkey will be on the attacking side to start with. We are getting straight into it on Mirage.
No, we're not playing around. So for anyone, very quickly, obviously CS2, the round differentials and stuff a little bit different. The buy phases and everything are slightly different. We will be running you through it. But speaking of being run through, beautiful first shot, an excellent commit out of the arches onto the A side here, basically forcing a retake from the Wales side. They do have the remaining map control fairly locked down, but now 40 seconds for the bomb to plant. It's taken down, and yeah, a hell of an opening commit from the Turkish to put on another one, as it's now 4 versus 3 retake.
Yeah, and the first demon player we've seen from Turkey, Jota comes in, gets the first kill, gets a second, does finally get taken out, so that might play in the hand of Wales, but it's just too late as Bilal and Luxon clean up.
How many ta-ta-ta-tas is that?
Yeah, well, I'm going to say Jota. Maybe we could take it a little bit smaller.
That's
maybe
fair.
Just Jota. Or just Jota.
Or just Jota. It would be maybe a bit overkill to try and calm Jota, unless there's some... Unless there's some serious PP Bison shots or P90 shots, in which case, absolutely, we will be saying. But moving in now, the buy from the Turkish side, of course, pretty standard Mac 10s, AKs, and everything. Full eco from the side of Wales, and it's likely, oh, say my name, already just living on that leaderboard with a very clean double, looking to be another very quick round.
Yeah, they're just cleaning through them, aren't they? Yeah. And not even a single trade for Wales, unfortunately, absolutely stomped through by those rifles. And Turkey, even though they had the higher firepower there, they were still playing in a pretty much a five-person squad. Very aggressive there.
No, it is, and this is kind of going back to, again, what you'll experience for the Welsh squad, unless they do adapt kind of on the fly. But whenever you are being run down to this kind of level, it does mean you are just playing a team with super strict comms, with super strict executes, with an understanding of where all of them are meant to be at basically all times. You don't really need a mini-map if you are the Turkish squad, it does seem, because of how confident they are with each other's abilities, with each other's locations, and with each other's ability to swing off of each other, which we have seen quite a few times.
Yeah, it's like heavily drilled tactics, isn't it? You see them moving through the map together, you know, it's like almost you can see it's one person's job to follow up and clear the opposite angle from what's just been followed up from, and yet again, they're just marching onto site and obliterating Wales.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, again, this is something that can very easily change at any point. One of the most volatile things as well, particularly on Mirage, which is quite an even-sided. It is a bit more kind of T-sided just with the Molotovs and things, particularly, which will benefit the Turkish squad with such clean aggression that we are seeing from them. So by all means, just a couple rounds that the Welsh side are able to get and then claw that back in defense. Absolutely not something to be worrying about just yet, even if it does look very confident from the Turkish team thus far.
So yeah, starting off 3-0, and it will be another save round for Wales. Whilst, yeah, they get a couple shields on board and only they get one grenade, but that's it. I mean, Turkey's economy is so stacked now, they're coming in with full util every round. It's going to take quite a little bit to hold them back on that. And again, Jatata coming in strong. Quick kill with Bilali on the support as well, getting that additional contribution to the kills. Luxon gets one as well, and right now it is DB.
On 7 HP and a dream. Again, like you were saying that about like the heavily drilled there. We watched someone come from Palace to kill someone on site. We watched Jatata just walk through Arch to get the kill. Then the space on mid was immediately taken to kill anyone in mid and stop the B rotate from mid, which is exactly what we then seen happen at the end there with Obby when Obby was the last one to go down. Even though they were able to take one out with them, by that point bomb had been planted, the execute had already been completed, and yeah, they were happy just to start running down the timer. But I don't think we're going to be seeing the Turkish crew run down that timer very much. I think we're just going to see them run down whichever site they so choose.
Beffin does have a good angle on mid. Could maybe find something here with the op. But mid isn't really being heavily pushed by the attackers, and Turkey are going to be just marching on a site yet again. No way! DB just gets searched out by Jatata.
The confidence there, I don't know if there was anything maybe with the audio, because I mean Jatata was not walking. Jatata was not trying to make her presence in any way secret or subtle. So unsure there, maybe just not fast enough of a read that the push was happening. Sometimes it does happen in the heat of the moment. But what I would maybe want to start to see is we are seeing just a very aggressive push, obviously, from the Turkish squad. I would maybe just like to see a full stack onto either A or B and then a full retake. You'd mentioned earlier, you know, the mid's not really being taken control of too much at the moment. It's only being taken control once the site's been taken. So maybe a full defensive stack. The arsenal of utility just ready to commit to anything that they should need as the Turkish squad just now, getting ready actually for that. Yeah, that rotate onto the A site.
Yeah, they might throw a bit of util down mid here and there, but they tend to just be rotating straight to site and ignoring mid. So you could leave your focus on there a little bit and focus on, like you were saying, stat B, try and do a retake, or stack A and try and do a retake. But yeah, you've got to kind of pick them apart one by one, but they move together so tight.
The timing, literally, as soon as the column comes through from Wales to maybe disengage, that's when literally 4 members all rush through Palace. And now Nadja trying to follow down the off, maybe able to pick up the kills, but burns alive in the process.
Oh my days.
But I think if you are the Welsh squad, that is a slightly better return of investment for your side. But then, say my name, as I think I've already said it pretty frequently, just living on that scoreboard again as the swing comes through. Unfortunately, not enough for Bethan and going to fall down. We are now 6-0. This has been a very dominant and controlling side from the Turkish squad so far. But again, something that means the Wales players have a lot that they can review and a lot that they can understand and improve from. Again, not even over yet, but all positive mindsets.
Yeah, it's purely a friendly. You know, they're definitely going to learn how tough that this international competition is going to be moving forward. And I was casted the PUBG Mobile ISSF EU, just the EU qualifiers last year, and the skill gap was huge. There was such a big difference. You know, like the Swedish team were just a bunch of lads with families. They were like they were just like middle-aged men with families that had managed to get themselves with the best team in Sweden to compete in ISF. But they were in the deep end, man, and the best they came. One game they came top 10, and the rest they were just obliterated every time. But hopefully they'll come back next year, just like Wales. You know, if we can't do it this year, we'll come back next year and keep on trying and learning from this process. And that's another round without getting a single trade. There is 2 players with a little bit of lost health, but nothing else. And they've actually, you know, walking around with 2 ops. This is getting a little bit arrogant, maybe a little bit.
I think, yeah. There's definitely a cockiness that's starting to show from the Turkish players. Which, to be fair, I mean, I think cockiness and overconfidence. Really, there's only a difference in those terms if you get punished.
Yeah, so that's actually the big difference between arrogance and confidence. Arrogance is overconfidence. Maybe they're just being confident. Maybe I'll take that back. But they are going down mid. They're finally going down mid. But how many bits of util were just chucked into that op spot? I think that was like 6 or 7 grenades and flames and mollies.
Oh my day! And then the shot.
Drop.
And this, I mean, I don't know if they're listening to the comms. Get out of the chat if you are, because that's cheating. But all of a sudden, we were talking about the lack of mid control, and all of a sudden they've completely changed it. All of a sudden, you were just saying there, you know, they just ran it down mid, absolutely tore down window with every molly and HE grenade and piece of util that you could fire at, literally short of the kitchen sink, I think, which may still have been in someone's hands, but then the gunfights just started acting up again. And yeah, just a complete domineering show at the moment. I think, to be fair, there's not very much util that Turkey are having to run through at the moment in terms of like flashes. We actually just seen there it go through, and it was enough to stop just for 1 pick for the Welsh side. But again, not going to be enough for anything major, as now the mid control, the A control, it's all there. The Turkish players know where the 2 remaining Welsh players are as the bomb likely about to go down, and the smokes. Yep, all that util coming down for the post plant scenario.
Yavia nearly got 2, but did get wallbanged to obliteration after getting the first, so it's just might play even better cover than the boxes moving forward as well. That might have to be something you think about. I don't know, there's just so much that needs to be done, but they do get 2 kills from the first round, finally.
I mean, it's something. I mean, it puts you on the leaderboard at least. It's not. It puts you on that scoreboard at least. It somewhat makes the econ slightly easier to work with. But it does look like what we're saying. And to be fair, this is something that I don't think a lot of teams respect. Is Wales have had enough full buys at this point that they understand that a full buy's not the difference maker for a round anymore. So we are seeing the FAMAS kind of come out basically every round. We're seeing the half shields, you know, like there's not a full commit for like util and guns and such, because they do understand that, well, the difference between the M4 and the FAMAS isn't going to be what wins you the gunfight anymore. It is something that's going to be far more fundamental, which I think is a show of understanding from the Welsh squad that sometimes gets overlooked.
Yeah, I mean, there is going to be so much to be learned from this, but one of the main things is just not giving up, you know, like just because you get obliterated in 9 rounds or even a whole game, you know, it doesn't mean that's going to be your destiny in gaming for the rest of your life. You can keep training. I'm sure every single player on this Turkish squad has had bad games, and, you know, everyone starts somewhere, and if this is where Wales are starting on the international stage. This is the start of it, but it doesn't mean it's the end by any means whatsoever.
You've got to take your first steps before you can sprint. You've got to take your first steps before you can climb. And absolutely, that is something that we hope to see. And yep, Bethan picking up one because of it. We are seeing a flank now come through. Bilali, though, managing to just hide through. Yes. Tries a 360. That's overcut. That's arrogance.
That's arrogance. That's arrogance. Especially getting shot down.
That is not confidence. That is what we were talking. That is pure, unfiltered arrogance.
Well, if we're doing tips for the Turkish squad as well, it's calm down a little bit, eh? Like, just calm down.
And that's a good point, though, to be honest, actually, if we are doing tip, just because you do, the last thing you would want, again, these are only the friendlies and stuff, I assume that the mental and the attitude will be very different on the stage once, obviously the prize pools are introduced. But we have seen teams before kind of go against a team that they think, that they consider quite a bit of a lower, maybe a bit lower bracket. They run through that team, and then the overconfidence gets them completely eviscerated whenever they go against a team that's a bit more their skill level.
And they're going straight down mid again. I mean, this is the power of conditioning your enemies. And I'm not talking about hairstyles here. Like, if you can condition your enemy to think you're pushing A or B side direct every single round, when you come down mid, there won't be anyone there, and there isn't. So Turkey are actually wasting their 7 grenades that they're throwing into
they're just stockpiling.
The sniper's nest.
They're just stockpiling. They're looking at their guns and stuff. They're appreciating just the value of everything. Look at all the flashbangs. Look at all of that ready to go. And yeah, I mean, and that's something that's very, the condition in there, as you've said, and how quickly, because the jump, that trick jump, I guess, from kind of mid into the window to get behind the Welsh squad, that's not the easiest thing to do fast, and it's not the easiest thing to do quietly, and absolutely, again, just shows the level of experience, the level of cohesion and cooperation from the Turkish squad that they are able to. A good fight from Albi, but actually picked up by Yevis, so very solid, but there's Jatata, but it's still 4 versus 3. Bethan with a beautiful headshot. Yeah, as well, actually coming in. Could this be the first round, please? Absolutely. I said that there would only be bias for a team that's the underdog, and absolutely, Wales are the underdog right now. It's 2 versus 3. The bomb is not planted just yet. They are dropping onto the A side very fast, but Jatata, again, just managing to walk past Bethan. Eventually picked up 1 versus 2. Is this the first round for the Welsh squad?
It might just be, but Bethan has to try to find that kill, but no, not. If they play together, they're going to find it. If they can just stay together. Smoke down for Bilali. Very, very sneaky stuff here, like Omen in the smoke. And, oh my days, this is so rude.
I like
just to smoke that entire area. And Bilali knows it's a fake already. Here's the second tap. Is that going to be a molly as well? This is cheeky, so cheeky, using the util to get out. It's like a game of Valorant, and there goes Bethan. Oh my days, no.
Overconfidence? I think that's enough. I don't think anyone has a kit. I don't think anyone has a kit, so it's gonna be close. I think we've no? I can't tell.
I can't tell, mate. We're just gonna wait and see.
Oh my!
Wow.
Oh, that was actually... I don't think you can get closer.
That was... Yeah, I think that was 2 decimal places, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. That was 100%. You know what? I mean, it wasn't a 12-0 half. Fair play to the Welsh. Fair play to the squad for that.
0.1 seconds remaining, mate. They don't get any closer than that.
What was it? 0.1?
There definitely has to be some looking at that VOD to see what Wales did to take that round back from Turkey. Whatever was different there. I do think it was partly team play, and they might have all, but they were playing angles together, but also they just got lucky in being in the right place, and that's the gamble that they hopefully will play more in the future if they come across a team like this, is stacking sites and playing angles together, because that's what worked for them that round.
No, absolutely it does. And now we get to see how, because obviously, I mean, we've seen such an aggressive playstyle from the Turkish on attack, but we're gonna have to see, do they take that over on defense as well, or do they play a bit more defensive? Semi-name and Hugs and both playing off each other very well, are able to pick up 2 off of it. M-Star as well, walking in and picking up 2 for themselves, and now, I mean, yeah, a very quick kind of push through. That's a beautiful read. To get those fights on B and then to realise that, well, there's still 2 unaccounted for. Okay, calm down. Okay, calm down. Calm down, John Woo. Calm down, John Woo. But yeah, to understand that there's still 2 players left unaccounted for, and immediately a full reset to A instantly. As soon as that last gunfight was over, the Turks were already kind of running over, and now match point already for them.
That is so fast, isn't it?
So speedy, and that's the thing. I mean, it's 1st to 13 now. CS used to be obviously, you know, 1st to 16, but things have been changed over, and now I do like this. The Nova very close to balance. There's one.
Oh, nice.
Oh!
Beautiful 3 kills from Jatata with the Nova. That's just so nice to see. Easy crouches when the pump goes off as well. Really, really. Even the shotgun usage is drilled by this team. They've drilled using Novas behind a box. Everything is just so tight.
Yeah, and fair play, the GG's in the chat. I mean, yeah, something that's definitely going to be more of a VOD review for the Welsh side. But, in fairness, I don't think the Turkish really learned anything from that game. I don't think they're kind of reviewing that VOD to, understand if there was anything they need to change up. I guess that one round, that one round that they did lose, is there anything? Oh my
Flash,
days,
just a little flashbang, yeah, sorry.
The flashbang has actually come out from the game into the casting arena as well, into the casting desk with us. But yeah, other than that kind of one round, which I do think was, a fair bit of team play, as you said, I do also say, when we did see the utilities start coming out from the Welsh side, they were able to slow the attacks down even a tiny bit. And when they were able to take the gunfights a bit more consistently than they were, because if the Turkish weren't stopped or slowed down in any way, then yeah, the train had just been ran through. By the time anyone had realized which site they were on, it's because there was a big beeping coming from that site.
Yeah, and it was pretty much off on a train of all 5 players. They rarely played both sites. They rarely did a fake and switch. They just kind of stormed forward like a steamrolling train, Snowpiercer every single time.
No, very, very well played, and I mean, commiserations obviously to Wales. But now, what's going to be happening? So it is best of 1. So it will now be Wales versus Portugal, versus the Portuguese team. So we will be getting some stuff kind of set up there in terms of getting the maps and everything. I believe they are still getting those picked. So we don't have anything for you quite at the moment, just in terms of how that's going to look out. But you know what? That means we get as pleasantly surprised as the rest of yous. And yeah, I hope to see. With how popular Mirage has been in CS2, I think it's beneficial to maybe run a different map, unless the Welsh seem to be particularly happy to continue running that Mirage. But yeah, maybe a different map could actually be the shout now.
Could also equally be good to run it, so they can if they've learned any lessons fast, they can try and apply them immediately. But Portugal might be a completely different team anyway. Portugal might be playing a little bit more normally. If that's the
at the
word.
very least defensively, maybe, or not as cockily or aggressively. Maybe maybe playing with a little bit more respect, because it didn't seem that the Turkish had very much for the Welsh squad, at least in that. So yeah. But fair play to them. I mean, again, a lot of stuff for them to learn. And a very clinical display. I do think that was a very clinical display. The lineups, the executes, the flashbang thing like that. We've seen Jatata run so many times. Here's a perfect example, actually, right? Compared to when Jatata was running out of Arch on A, the first time Jatata seen anyone, they were always covering their eyes because they were flashed. I don't think Jatata ever walked out of Arch flashed. And any time that he was holding Arch, she would be ready to flick the flash in a moment's notice, and then turn around for a beautiful 3K with that Nova. And I think even just something to that degree, they had very clearly even just ran sitting behind a box with the Nova ready to go.
At least we already saw one 360 attempt. That's the
And it was adequately shut down.
Someone's just checked the VOD. It was 0.015 on the diffuse. That's the lowest diffuse I've ever seen in CS or Valorant, ever.
0.015. That's because I'm usually fairly confident on my call. No, I couldn't have told you.
Just over 100th of a second.
I mean, it's enough. I mean, when it comes to diffuse, I mean, either or. Wow. I mean, it's diffused or it's not. It's 50-50. It's diffused or it's not.
And that's the one round they took.
And that,
Wow. Well, we are going to take a small break until we'll get back here, Wales versus Portugal. But it's been a pleasure, and we'll see you very soon. Welcome back, everybody, to a Welsh esports edition of the IESF friendlies before the full World Esports IESF kicks off. It's going to have been pretty interesting so far. We had a very one-sided match as the female Welsh team went up against what we think was the male Turkish team, who had a lot of experience. We're playing extremely drilled, but moving forward, we're going to be up against the female Portugal team, and yeah, should be a little bit more even, hopefully. And we'll see how it goes. My name is Bigfoot, and I'm joined by Mad Dante there. How you been so far, mate?
It's been very good. It's been phenomenal. It was, of course, as you said, quite a solid showing from the Turkish team for the 13-1. But that one round that the Wales got was absolutely phenomenal. Was
what
by far the most exciting
round, mate? Why don't you come on
what happened that one round? I will tell you, because we've been chatting about it in the back room, in the production room for the last hour because of how impressive it was. So for anyone that didn't see it, the Welsh team managed to defuse the bomb with 0.0015 remaining on the bomb. So for anyone that doesn't know, obviously Counter-Strike runs at 60 frames per second. So literally the last frame that could have been defused is when the bomb was defused. Anything to do with ping changes, we even talked about like keyboard actuation. So if any of the players decided to have like the keys on a bit more kind of a stiffer press, if it had been pressed even slightly slower, then that would have been a 13-0. So very congratulations on taking what may be the closest round you can physically get in CS.
Yeah, I don't think you can see lower than that. I mean, I'm going to actually get on Reddit and just see if anyone's ever seen any lower later on, because I don't think it's possible. No. You'd have to run on a lot higher FPS and ticks in a server to get lower than that, I think.
No, actually, and so we're going now. That was Mirage. We'll be jumping into Vertigo in just a moment. The teams are getting just set up and ready to go now, so we will just be jumping in basically as soon as they are good to go. But yeah, at the moment, just friendlies, obviously, to kind of go in, as Bigfoot was saying, for the IESF, going in further in July for when the prize pool and stuff gets ready. But at the moment, a couple of friendly scrims, obviously, make sure everything that you're kind of doing is being labbed properly. And here we go.
So one thing that went wrong for Wales was they were being like steamrolled, but pretty much the entire five-person squad of Turkey was just marching onto site quite a lot, throwing like 8 grenades into Sniper's Nest in mid and just charging down it. And this is actually another map where that technique can actually work quite well for attackers if they just rush a site. And in the knife round now, to work out the size, we're seeing the stabbing going left, right, and center, and it does look like Portugal win the round. They're only losing one player.
Very dicey, very slicey for them. So we're now going to go see, obviously, which side the Portuguese want to go, whether it is attack or defense. We were talking about Mirage kind of fit. Yep, not too surprising there that it does look like they want to continue on the CT side. It is pretty difficult to attack on Vertigo unless, as you were saying, Bigfoot, they do just decide to do very solid executes, kind of all 5. So yeah, really smart decision making, and we'll have to see how Portugal run this through. Bunch of one set of the Joe Berettas, bunch of 5.7s, and yeah, actually a similar setup from the Welsh side. Obviously CT equivalent as we get into our first round of the game.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see Wales on the attacking side for the first half. So we'll get to see a little bit more Welsh attack, because on Mirage we only got a couple of rounds before they'd lost, and yeah, we see some big shots from Portugal and just absolutely decimating the Welsh team before they even set foot on the bomb site.
I don't know for anyone here. I signed up for some CS. That looked like a magic trick because it very much looked like we just watched the Welsh team disappear. Portugal, please, we want to witness just some video games and not sorcery. But yeah, an absolutely beautiful hold. The Joe Beretta is in the corner, not being cleared of, and then the follow-up just from the site there. So yeah, an incredibly explosive first off, and immediately now we're seeing quite a different split from the Welsh side now, to try and kind of go in from that.
Yeah, hopefully they'll be able to pick 1 or 2 people off in this round. They didn't manage to get anything in their first eco round against Turkey, so we'll see if they manage to fight improvement. It is, of course, a different map. There's some slightly different techniques here, but this technique of singling players out together is basically what you want to do. And there we have one player that took a pistol shot from each of those 3 Welsh players before dropping down. But at least they managed to get that one down.
No, it did, and again, we were mentioning this as well. Very similar. The Portuguese team seemed to be doing to what the Turkish team were doing last game. There's very much just swings are happening with multiple people. They're not allowing themselves to kind of take 1v1s, because we have absolutely seen, and this is to absolutely give credit to the Welsh squad, their guns fights, when they're allowed to take them, are absolutely on point. It's just both Portugal and Turkey very much seem to be, if you're going to do a 1v1, no, it's 2v1. Or if you want to do a 2v2, no, it's a 3v2. And we are seeing that level of kind of cohesion just come off, and we're likely about to see it again as two FAMASs are absolutely going to run down. Yeah, they're basically going to take the fight to the attackers.
Oh, interesting. But at least we've seen an improvement from oh my god, an improvement from Wales. Their first eco round, they did something a little bit different. They played an angle together. They did manage to get one trade. So, yeah, a little bit better in this game so far, but still 2-0 down to start off with. And they've got 3 players standing, rifles in hand, so they might be able to get their first round on the board a little bit earlier this time round.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was 11-1, or it was 11-0 going then until 11-1 whenever they were able to put their score on. So, yeah, no, immediately quite a bit. That's a drop from ladder. That's a beautiful shot, though, from KC. Very fast reaction, very quick, just snaps onto the head of Albi. And now 2 versus 1, only 7 HP as well for one of the players as they clear out the 360. I think CWMP looking a little bit lost there, and fall damage actually. Yay on that 7 HP. The ankle's going to come out from underneath her, and unfortunately that is alone to that alone is enough to bring Portugal up 3-0. But a very close round, a much closer round, and a lot earlier into the series than we did see from Wales. So maybe a bit more confident on Vertigo, maybe just a bit more warmed up after Mirage. I mean, I don't know what the weather is like over in Wales, but I am sweating and I'm not even playing the game.
Sure, it's getting pretty good up in Newcastle, so I think Britain is getting a bit of a better spell at the minute.
We're getting very toasty in here.
Should be helping the morale of people as well. I do everything a little bit worse in the winter, to be honest. So moving forward in the summer, but D7 KC takes down Camlex and Nadia in 2 easy headshots there, holding that angle with great precision. These easy peaks there, jiggling backwards and forwards, but it will be a retreat from the Welsh player.
See, and I like the use of the utility here again, something that we haven't really been able to see from the Welsh. But I do like, look at this, they're getting ready to swing. Bethan and Ollie together are now getting ready to swing that from D7. Catty Jones, though, picks up Yevia back there. The information's so there, close. D7, though, another beautiful shot, and Katie then picking up Obi as well. Yeah, very close. I don't know. I think maybe that was just a bit of crosshair placement, but the elevated position was very intelligent from K7, because it does mean obviously your crosshair, you know, if you do swing into it, which happened, you're not going to get immediately the headshot that you really want. And from the Mac 10 as well, it can be very deadly at that type of range. So very close, but the econ already looking a little bit better. We're still seeing Galils and stuff. Looks like it is going to be a force shields and a bit of util kind of bot for the Welsh side, but over in the Portuguese side, that money's a lot to work with. That's T7 immediately showing what they can do with it.
Beautiful new smokes on CS2. They're looking so fresh, but there's blocking out that doorway now, so Lex won't be able to get through. Does actually get tickled by the grenade there, trying to move forward, so gonna play this a little bit slowly. And elsewhere, Beffin and Nadia do get dropped, so Welsh team back down to two players, 4 for Portugal standing.
And I want to say that this level of very, very good refrag, but D7, KC is absolutely just kind of cleaning house at the moment. One thing I do want to say, again, what we are seeing is, you got to remember, you know, Portugal are on CT side. You know, they're on defense. That's not preventing them in any way from taking a bunch of space on this map. They're taking very aggressive angles. They're taking a very aggressive holds, maybe just because they have the confidence that they can win the fights. But it does also mean that for the T side, for the Welsh side, you can't really push in too much. Nadia... Okay, there we go. Perfect. Okay. It was a bit concerned that we'd maybe lost someone. But it does mean, you know, you're not really having the space to kind of push in. Because D7, look where KC already is! And it's 10 seconds into the round.
Yeah, big, fast movements. And we didn't see too much of Wales' attack, but equally we didn't see too much of Turkey's defense. But yeah, a very aggressive squad can actually be very effective on defense if you can push forward and catch people out on angles where they're just not expecting you to be. Nadia gets 1, but Portugal get 3 there. Nadia does drop, get traded out. Zana finishing off Lex, switching the pistol, trying to get another kill in.
Oh. and everyone just collapses onto Yavia. That's going to be 6-0 now. Again, and it is one of those things, if you want to set the pace early, which we've seen now both teams do from Turkey and Portugal, if you want to set that pace early and the enemy team do struggle to keep up with it, which unfortunately just at the moment for the Welsh squad do look like that's the case. But again, something that's very important is, again, these are friendlies. You know, the Welsh squad are just kind of, you know, training up, trying to learn some new strats. So if they will have a lot of information that you know, that they do struggle once space has been taken, and if they do go against teams that are very comfortable to take that space, then it's very much an uphill struggle for them, which is very typical of any team. As now the spray comes through, it's good for one for Nadia, but Zana and co picking up 3 out of 4. D7 in the background as well, and Kilitast finally finishing it up. Again, the level of speed to understand that gunfight's happening, that the remainder of the map is completely free for KC to walk through. Speaking of KC, 13-0.
Yeah, only won that round, but still a grand total of 13 is looking insane. Just farming the Welsh players right now. Zana doing pretty good herself on 10 kills. You know, but we're in a much better position than we were up against Turkey, so it's good to see. It's either, and I don't just think it's that Portugal is worse. I think Wales have put their heads together, and they have made some adjustments already.
They really have, and the util they're really good. We do see some ops as well online. I mean, if you can land, you only need one body shot, and all of a sudden you can absolutely turn the tide. Look at this aggression, though. And I do like the Welsh team are actually now holding the angle. They're waiting, and they're getting the kills because of it. Bethan as well, actually, all of a sudden, for the first time, I think, in this entire set, the Welsh team were outnumbering the Portuguese team. It's now back up to an even split, but very intelligent actually from the Welsh team to completely slow it down, actually understand that, you know what, we're not going to take any space, we're going to let you overcommit, we're going to let you make a few more mistakes and then punish you for it, which was done pretty damn well. And if they're able to pick up these kills, pick up the op, we could easily go into a 7-1 set with the econ looking far nicer for the Welsh squad.
This is the best chance that Wales has had so far. D7 is in a bit of a finicky position, and actually, as we do head towards... Is it going to be A? No, we've got Wales leaving A right now, trying to scan out the entire map, trying to find a route back to the bomb. But it is being observed from 2 different angles in a crossfire position, and had they still had the bomb in hand, this could have been a very, very different round. Yavia does get 1. Crossfire is now cancelled out. Surely they can get that bomb up. They just need to find this last kill. But D7, and they're up against D7 of all the players they could be up against, but it will be Yavia finishing off, and Wales do get their first round on the board 4 rounds earlier than last time, so that is another improvement that we're seeing moving forward against Portugal.
Really, yeah, really solid work. Bit scary. KC finally getting 1 death on the board.
Dies.
Yeah, finally goes down. The Terminator herself, very much kind of acting like it. The next highest being 10-2 from Zana, which is still a very... K7 just seems to absolutely be running away, or KC, sorry, seems to just be absolutely running away with it. And look at the space again, already taken. There's no commitment here as well. She's got the information that there's no push from the T side. She's taken all this space for free, and now immediately behind the T side. Never mind.
The flick was not fast enough. I was preparing to say what a flick, but the flick missed, and actually it was KC that drops. That will be the second death for her.
Oh, well, I mean, when KC died, well, the Welsh got around. So in theory,
maybe.
100%.
But Zana does find Lex there. Easy headshot. Very good timed swing.
Okay, as well, actually, through the flash. Nadia, though, beautiful refrag onto it. 3 versus 3. Health looking a little bit worse for the thing. And the flash, it's a good flash, but it's not pushed off of quickly enough. That was a real... That's something that on a VOD review you can absolutely say. The util usage was excellent, but the time to capitalize off of it just a bit too slow. But that's something that's very easy to look at and say, right, that's definitively something you can improve.
Yeah, the plan was there. If you know where a player is and you know you're coming from behind cover, you can always chuck a flash over that cover in CS, and it's very, very good. Perfect use of vision, as you said, but the timing not quite right, and the respray came back through. Zana getting 2. Only 2 deaths for Zana as well. Ada only on 2 deaths too, so they're doing pretty good at staying alive. This Portugal squad. Not too many trades coming out from Wales, but they're still standing their ground with a lot more kills than they had up against Turkey.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the econ, though, unfortunately for them, the eco kind of coming through. 6k, just with a deagle and flash, so the op and everything likely being saved. 5-stack up through actually is going to go to that upper. Killtask gets 1, gets 2, 3. Are we going to see the ace? The reload comes through. Now 90 more bullets. Swings isn't ready for someone for that close angle from Obby, and it is going to be enough to drop down Killtasty. KC as well getting a bit greedy, nading her own teammate. She goes down. Bethan with a beautiful shot onto Zana. All of a sudden, it is just 1 versus 2, but you know what? For an eco, that actually might be the most comfortable round Wales has had, and it was an eco.
Yeah, that was amazing, to be honest. And, I do think that kill onto the early aggressive player was pretty much done by one Welsh player. So another thing to look at in VOD reviews is high risk, high reward situations. Yep. That jump out to the side, that really wide swing when the reload was coming through. That was the window of opportunity when that reload was happening. And yeah, the Portuguese player could have switched to a sidearm, but took to reload the rifle. And I don't know if it was an audio cue or just good game sense, but perfect time to push and really good kill there for Wales.
No, absolutely. And now we're seeing the util coming out as well. Oh my days. The very, very confident from KC to hold their ground there. And now the utility all coming through. The kitchen sink, the smokes, the frags, the Molotovs. They, you know, the guns, I'm sure. Maybe someone presses G by accident and throws a gun through the smoke, and the flank coming through as well from Katie. Yeah, we do see that. The HE grenade as well to keep the space controlled. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing just as soon as a fight's taken, we're seeing the Portugal team basically just understand that they have all the space in the world to work with.
Yeah, and they take the space when they get it. You know, they get one kill. They do keep moving forward for the rest of the squad. Even though they're on the defensive side, we see this forward momentum. As I'm saying that, they do just jump downstairs and take down the last Welsh player as Lex drops, and Portugal get another perfect round. No deaths whatsoever. Another 3 kills over to KC. Up to 18 now.
Only a 6 KD, KC. It was 15 before. What happened to you? You fell off. It was 15 just a couple of rounds ago, and now it's only a 6 KD. I can't believe I'm saying that. No, of course, say that in jest. Absolutely phenomenal play from them, and we aren't seeing any complete cockiness or overconfidence that we did from the Turkish team. There is still a lot of respect coming through from the Portugal side, but it is just very much a clear understanding of we have all this space to work with. Never mind. Oh my days! I'll be all of a sudden coming on the kill feed and saying, no, we don't have all that. You don't have all this space to work with. We're not just giving you it for free anymore. If they're able to put a third one, they're not. As Ada finally drops them down, but the reswing is going to come off, gets them down to half health. But no, it's Ada bringing down Complexer. Kilitas as well following along. Bethan though, at least getting that shot back onto Ada. So these refrags are starting to come through a little bit more from the Welsh team. Do apologise as well, misgendered, said him instead of her. Do apologise for that. As we know, 109 on the board. Bomb ready to get planted, but we'll have to see if it can work out.
Oh, Yavia does get taken down with a quick headshot from Kilitas, taking that swing, and Bethan is on 12 HP, and it's not looking too pretty.
There's a little bit of utility for her to work with. She's got the flash, she's got smoke, she's got Molotov. Whether she, you know, I mean, she probably does want to try and use all that. She's not going to carry it into the next. The swing comes through the spray. Unfortunately, just not there for his KC again. Just adding another kill onto that scoreboard. But yeah, the utility's there. 11-1. We've seen this exact same breakdown last time. So who knows as now the Portuguese team go on to the attacking side.
Yeah, so 1 round moving forward. I think it's pretty much the same as last time, score-wise, but kill count-wise, Wales are doing better. They have managed to trade a lot more often.
Yep. Definitely, which is again something that you don't want to kind of forget. But now is this aggression that we've seen, the very aggressive defense? Are we going to see an aggressive attack? And it does exactly look like we go as the swing comes through and the util now spent to try and slow down the team, but the Portuguese just pushing right through onto the site.
And so there's nothing that Wales have done to stop the push-up ramp. So that's an interesting conservation of util and timing. But if you aren't going to stop them on ramp, you do want to have 5 people standing for the retake. And currently they only have 3 before the bomb's even gone down.
Really, really solid push, though. The setup from the flash there was beautiful, and it really was played off. I think that's a perfect example there. Comparing how Portugal played off of that flash versus how Wales played off theirs, I think is something that's very, very important to look at. And completely correct. If you're going to give up that much space, you have to be ready to kind of almost kind of close in on them, kind of like, kind of bear trap them, trick them into taking all that space, and then surrounding them from all angles and shooting down, which unfortunately the Welsh weren't quite able to do. And now, match point, the buy up from the Portuguese team, AKs and everything, a little bit of boogieing going on from Killatast, as what could be the last round of the set comes in.
Obviously, it will be quite likely when you look at the arsenal that Portugal are moving forward with. Wales to have done a last stand, like a bit of a force to try and get something going on in this round. See if they're going to have a miracle round, but let's also see if they do anything. They are holding back ramp a little bit, but not that much. See if they can keep all 5 players alive for the retake if they are going to give up sight.
It's a good.
There is a trade.
Yeah, it's a good hold from Yavia and from Bethan there. Unfortunately, not going to be enough for Complex there though. As they now to push through the smoke. Oh my god, the timing! No, never mind. Ada with a beautiful flick. Obi was meant to come in and get that, but instead, absolutely shut down as 13-1. Deja vu, Bigfoot.
Yeah, same scoreline again, but we hold on to those 1 rounds, so we look at what went well and we move forward, and the team can look back at the VODs and decide what's happening with that, what happened in that singular round that they did win. It was actually 1 player standing in each of those rounds, so the 2 rounds they did win were severe clutches. We had KC taken down on a Vertigo, and then also that 0.015 clutch, second on the Diffuse, so both pretty serious clutches coming forward. But you also need to have a little bit more consistency and prevent them taking sight. And like I said earlier, if you do, you need to have all 5 players standing for retake if possible.
No, of course. I think that's a really solid way of just kind of putting it. There is definitely the one thing I want to say. I mean, obviously, congratulations, Portugal, absolutely solid play. But there's definitely fundamentals there. There's definitely a very solid groundwork for Wales to work with. That wasn't even kind of the Mirage versus the Vertigo. There was all of a sudden quite a bit more team play. There was quite a bit more. Even utility usage was starting to come out and looking a bit more confident. Even if the timing wasn't quite there, there was still very much a lot more of attempted executes and a lot more thought behind those executes than we initially seen. So yeah, I think really solid foundations, and I don't think you should let that kind of get to yourselves too much.
We would of course be keeping an eye out when it comes forward to the group stages. There's going to be 4 groups. I think it's 4 groups of 4 people in 2024. Yep, that is correct. The top 2 from each group will move forward to the playoffs, which will be a sort of bracket. There'll be an upper bracket quarterfinals, then upper bracket semi-finals, then upper bracket final, and then straight through to the grand final. So 1 player from the initial playoffs will make it through to the grand final on a win streak, but the rest will run through a lower bracket, which I'm sure you've seen this style many times before. So let's hope at the very least Wales can make it through to the playoffs, and at the very most get through past those playoffs a little bit further forward.
No, honestly, it would be such a story to kind of witness, to go back to this if they do end up kind of doing like, I don't want to say miracle run at this point. They've got a lot of time to obviously practice. They've got a lot of time to kind of build up, but it would be so cool, if Wales do end up kind of making something a bit historic. You can look back at that VOD. 2 13-1s is probably not something, of course, you're remarkably happy with. But if you can come back and say, well, we went from being 13-1, we took all of this feedback on board, we adapted our playstyle accordingly, we just tightened everything up, and we can point to that and say, well, this is how we improved. I think that's something that you would absolutely I think that's something that any team, regardless of skill or tier level, would be absolutely over the moon for.
So it's actually quite a big portion of the $1 million prize pool. It's $160,000 just for the Counter-Strike 2 2024 female bracket. And like you said, a long time. It does still, like, the start date is 11th of November, so there's plenty of time to prepare.
Oh yeah. Oh, that 106. I think if you need any encouragement other than just getting better at the game, I think 160k is a pretty solid number to get that encouragement up and to get the and to get all the kind of the mentals going and the strats and the gears whirring in on their heads. So yeah, no, absolutely, I'm excited.
So yeah, we might be back soon with some more of these friendlies, etc. We've got many months. It's actually it's about 2 days less than 6 months until we hit IESF. So there probably will be more friendlies moving forward. There might be some other kind of warm ups and bigger events. So stay tuned on the Esports Wales Twitter, etc., and get joined to the Discord if you're not there. Big shout out to the production team behind the scenes and Slayer John, CEO, as always. Thanks for getting us in. It's a pleasure to see you again, Dante. And we'll be back soon, hopefully. Have you got anything else to say before we say goodnight?
No, I think that's it. Good night, all. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Bigfoot. It's always a pleasure. Again,
always, mate.
Thank you to the production as well. But yeah, no, thanks very much. Stick around. I'm sure there's a lot more exciting stuff going on in the future. So keep your eyes peeled.
See you soon.